So you're thinking about moving to Lake Arrowhead? Well, that's an excellent choice. I personally moved up here about 4 years ago, and even though I'm a licensed real estate broker in California, I was definitely out of my depths when I moved here. I absolutely love it. Don't get me wrong, this is my forever home. But when I moved up here, there were some things I wish I would have known. Well, in this video, we're going to first go grab a cup of coffee, but along the way, I'm going to cover with you and share with you the top 5 things that I wish I would have known prior to moving to Lake Arrowhead. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not bad, but they're definitely some lesson learned, some bumps along the road. Number 5, though, is not a bump. It's actually something that, it's very difficult to put into words, but it's ultimately life-changing. So stick around for number 5. So come on, let's go get that coffee. All right, lesson number 1 that I learned. Did you happen to catch it? Stairs. Whew, a little out of breath. Stairs are everywhere here. Everything, for lack of better words, you're on a mountain, you're in a mountain. So space, property, it's at a premium. So there's going to be stairs just about most homes you look at. Obviously, you get to higher price points, you're going to see more level lots, larger lots that don't require so much stairs. Also parking and the ability to have your own carport or your garage. These are all things I will do on a deeper dive video about parking in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding communities. But just know there's stairs just about everywhere you go. And most homes have an ample amount of stairs, especially if you're coming in at an entry price point of say $350,000 to about $550,000. Definitely expect some stairs. My particular staircase, I have 33 stairs total. Doesn't seem like much when you're here on a weekend getaway, or if you're at an Airbnb. But I tell you what, if you're lugging in cases of water, if you're lugging in groceries, when you're moving in, I recently got a large tool chest, and it was like 250 pounds or 220 pounds box, like one of those big roller tool chests. And it was a beast to get down those stairs. Not only down the stairs, but also the stairs into the build out / basement as well. So build out versus basement, that's a whole other conversation for a different video, but it was super heavy. So consider that when you're moving in, not just moving in, but also the daily lifestyle. What does it look like every single day going up the stairs, moving in groceries? I will tell you, you're going to get a little more conditioned, but definitely something to consider. If you are carrying a few extra pounds, if you have knee problems, back problems, definitely something to consider moving up here is how do the stairs fit into your daily life? You combine stairs with altitude and going up and down those stairs. Whew, it's a workout. Come on, let's go get that coffee. All right, we made it. We are at the Lake Arrowhead Village. So lesson number 2, this is what I want to share with you. Look around. What do you notice? It's Saturday morning. It's super early. I think it's like a little before 7 o'clock, but parking is everywhere, but it's because it's early. On the weekends, this fills up drastically. There's also a parking structure over here somewhere, and then there's an upper deck up there and we'll go to the upper deck as well. That's where business is done, like Stater Brothers is there, CVS. The village, the lower deck is like where the shops and the restaurants and all that fun stuff is. Ooh, and concerts in the park, which I'll get to that. But parking. If you are coming up here, plan on any time after say 11 a.m. or 12 p.m., noon, lunchtime. This fills up because people come down from the mountain, come up for the day. They want to have lunch. They want to hang out, and who's to blame them? But if you're planning a trip up here, plan on parking being a nightmare. The first time we came up here house hunting, I had zero clue what we were doing. Just thought, let's go to Lake Arrowhead and look at some houses. I probably circled this parking lot about 30 times, getting frustrated, looking for a spot, finally found a spot that I shouldn't have parked in. It's a miracle my car didn't get towed. And, just one of those things, plan ahead. And if you do come and the lot is full, there's a parking structure over here that a lot of people don't know about. Find the underground parking structure, park there. It'll make your life so much easier. So with that said, the coffee's close. We're on lesson number 2. We'll roll right into lesson number 3 as we head to get coffee. I'll see you guys soon. All right, so I made it about a whopping 3 feet before lesson number 3 hit me. Lesson number 3. When I first moved up here, what we used to ask locals when we were, out of the coffee shops or whatnot was, what is the one thing you wish you knew, or what should I be advised about moving up here? And everybody, without a doubt, their first response was, you have a 4x4? At the time, I didn't. I lived in Southern California. I had a pavement Jeep, right? One that didn't really touch dirt, and it was a 2-wheel drive. It was a Jeep Cherokee, but I thought, yeah, it's a Jeep. It'll be all right. It really only took one winter up here of putting on chains, taking off chains every single time that it snowed that I said, forget this. We need to get a 4x4. So, I got a Trailhawk, but it's Trailhawk. Why not? A little bit of overkill. You don't need some super 4x4 to live up here. Most people will drive Jeeps of some sorts. I see a lot of 4Runners up here, and without a doubt, the community vehicle is a Subaru of some sort. It seems like everybody has a Subaru. So all-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, not a requirement, not a must. But if you're gonna live up here full-time, or you plan on coming up in the winter, I can tell you, putting on and taking off chains is a major pain in the butt and not something you want to have to deal with on a regular basis. So if you can, get an all-wheel drive or a 4-wheel drive. If you're not there yet, get some chains, throw them in the back. I actually lived up here for about 2 years without having the Trailhawk, and I would take the chains on and off every time it snowed. So just be cautious of that. With a 4-wheel drive, you don't necessarily have to have chains on a regular basis. You keep them in your car because there are rare instances where you'll need them. So a 4-wheel drive doesn't automatically just nullify the fact that you don't need chains. Keep them in your car, but for the most part, road conditions are clear. They're on top of it on a regular basis, so chains are not always required if you have a 4-wheel drive. So get yourself a Trailhawk or a Subaru. I'm here at the entrance of the Lake Arrowhead Village, and the Lake Arrowhead Village really is the crown jewel of Lake Arrowhead. It is in the, center of Lake Arrowhead. And I've talked in other videos, and I'll continue to talk about all the different sub-communities surrounding Blue Jay, Twin Peaks, Cedar Glen, Sky Forest, Rim Forest, to a certain extent, Crestline, even though Crestline stands alone on its own 2 feet, as well as Running Springs. But the village is what most people think about when they think Lake Arrowhead. Now, the village itself has just completely undergone a revitalization. It used to have big trees, a stage here in the entrance. It had some railing and some fake grass. It was really dated, to be honest with you. And within the last year, the new property management company has come through and just completely redone it. And I'll give you a view, but they basically knocked down the stage, moved it to the back towards the lake, which is super cool for summer concerts. And there's been some new restaurants that have been put in, some fire pits and patio furniture. Behind me is Big on Bears. And what's cool about Big on Bears, and it's special to us, is when we first moved up here, no, we didn't even move up. We were still looking for property on that first trip. And we came up and said, let's have lunch. Let's go look at some properties. Well, we stumbled into Big on Bears. And I think it's one of the things that made me fall in love with the mountain. I got some flannel PJs with the bear on it, got some stuff for the family, and it was super cool. But that was kind of our introduction. But let's take a look at the village. I will do a tour in more detail. Probably we'll profile the individual restaurants and shops and all that. We can do more detail. But really, this is a top overview of the top 5 things. So let's take a walk, and I will share with you lesson number 4 once we're waterside. All right, team, we are dockside here. We're over by the Lake Arrowhead Queen, which is a boat tour that you can actually take. Paddle boat goes along the lake. And lesson number 4, we're getting to the important ones. I really wish I would have known this before buying property. And I'm a real estate broker, and I represented myself when I moved up here 4 years ago, and I didn't know this. So lesson learned. It's important to work with a realtor, a broker, a brokerage, somebody who's on the mountain, who knows the mountain and understands. And the most important thing is this: lake rights. The lake in Lake Arrowhead is a private lake. There is a predefined boundary surrounding the lake. It's defined by streets basically, and it's broken up into different sections, and I will link the boundary map down below into the comments. But essentially, if you live inside the boundaries of that border, you have access to the lake, which means you can fish, you can swim, you can kayak, you can boat, you can hike the trail surrounding it. If you don't have lake rights, which actually transfer on the grant deed with the property, if you don't have lake rights, you can't access the lake. Now, I'm here in the Lake Arrowhead Village, which is a public area, but you'll see this behind me. This gate's actually open because there's a gentleman over here that's doing some work on the deck that I'm actually standing on, but these gates are closed 99% of the time. And you have a key fob as a member of the Lake Association, the Arrowhead, ALA, Arrowhead Lake Association. Part of your membership is you get a key fob and a pass to hike the trails, use the key fob to access the deck, so on and so forth. So all that to say, and we'll do a deep dive on lake rights, but the lake is private. So before buying up here, even if it's part-time, full-time, if you're looking at putting up a short-term rental here, lake rights is something we would want to do a deep dive on. So connect with me, give me a call. Let's discuss this. Let's discuss the boundaries, the border maps, and see if where you're looking and your price point is applicable to lake rights. But that's number 4. It's getting late in the morning and I still don't have that coffee yet. So come on, let's go get that coffee. All right, mission accomplished. And with a pine cone as a tripod stand, we can get to point number 5. This one caught me off guard, and it's going to be a little bit more of a non-tangible sharing, but definitely something that should be shared, is the thing I can't explain most that I wish I would have known prior to moving up here, is what living up here does to your wellness. Your mental, your emotional wellness. And stay with me for a second on this. People come up here for a reason, not to just, get away for the weekend, but there's something magical about being connected with nature, whether it's the mountains or the beach or the desert or wherever you choose to go. Those sort of environments of just reconnecting to a more non-city concrete state does something mentally and emotionally. And I can give you a perfect example is anytime I am down in the city for an extended period of time, whether it's for work, if it's a speaking engagement, whatever the case may be, inevitably, when I'm coming back up the mountain, I notice myself just kind of, there's this sense of relief that comes. Now that's my experience. Yours might be different, but being up here, it's peaceful, but it's not off the grid, meaning anything and everything that I need, we need, any human being would need, from shopping to restaurants to, auto maintenance, Costco, right? Life's necessities are all within like a 25-30 minute perimeter distance. But once you get up here in the mountains, it's literally a world away, but it's so close. And I moved up here during COVID, actually just post-COVID, and a whole bunch of stuff was going on in the world at that time, right? COVID, I was an empty nester. There was just all kinds of stuff going on. And I thought, you know what? Let's look for new environments. And that's where I ended up here. And maybe you're there, maybe you're not. Maybe you just need a weekend getaway. Maybe you want a vacation home. Maybe you want a wakeboard. Doesn't matter. Everybody's needs are different. But I did want to share that life is different on the mountain. It's different in a lot of good ways. Most notably, just the emotional wellness, the sense of peace, the sense of well-being, the sense of community, the ability to just slow down and connect with what's around us, connect with our community, connect with ourselves. And I don't want to go too deep on the foo-foo stuff, but look, if you're considering moving up here in 9 days or 90 days, if you want to do a tour of the area, if you want to see some properties, give me a call. All my information's linked down below. Would love to show you around town and obviously show you about a community that I'm just absolutely so passionate about. So with that said, Jason Crawford with the Crawford Realty Group, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye, everybody.